Good afternoon, children. We have already started with the subphylum Vertebrata. Today we will start with the second superclass, that is Tetrapoda. Okay, tetra means 4. So it includes 4 classes, right? There are 4 classes in it. The first class is the class Amphibia. Okay. Amphibia, you have been studying since childhood. Amphibians are the organisms which live in water as well as on the land, right? So these organisms, they can live in water, so they are aquatic and terrestrial. Okay, and terrestrial means they can live on the land, right? So they live in aquatic and terrestrial habitats and need water for breeding. That means for multiplication they need water, right? And aquatic means they are mostly found in the freshwater bodies, and terrestrial, where there is the moist soil, they live there. Okay, and for breeding, for reproduction, they need water. The body has head and trunk. The body is divided. In most of the amphibians, the body is divided into head and trunk. In some of the organisms, tail is also present. Okay, and they have the moist skin. Moist means pani wali, ठीक है? So they have moist skin without scales. Like fishes, they do not have scales on their body, but yes, their skin is moist. And they have 2 pairs of limbs. ठीक है, limbs है और वो भी 2 पैर में, right? That means total there are 4 limbs. And tympanum represents the ear. Okay, tympanum is the part, okay, which is considered as ear in amphibians, and they have 3 chambered heart. 2 auricles are there, means the upper chambers, and 1 ventricle is there, right? As there is only 1 ventricle, there is mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in such organisms, right? So you can see frog, salamander. Okay, these are the amphibians, and this is the tympanum. Okay, it is the external ear. It is the opening which represents as the ear. Okay, and they have the 3 chambered heart, where 2 auricles are there and 1 ventricle is present, right? Now they are poikilotherms. Poikilotherms means they are cold-blooded animals. They are cold-blooded animals. Okay, cold-blooded means they can change their body temperature according to the change in the surrounding temperature. ओके, अगर बाहर का टेम्परेचर बहुत कम हो जाता है, सो टू सर्वाइव दे कैन इंक्रीज देयर बॉडी टेम्परेचर. ओके, एंड इफ द सराउंडिंग टेम्परेचर इज वेरी हाई, they can decrease their body temperature. So such organisms are called poikilotherms, or they are called cold-blooded animals. Okay, now alimentary canal, urinary duct, then reproductive tract, they open into cloaca, which opens to the exterior. That means cloaca is the opening which opens to the outside or to the external, and to this cloaca the alimentary canal, urinary tract and the reproductive tract opens, right? Respiration occurs through gill in the larval stage when they are in water, and through lungs and skin when they are on the land, right? Sexes are separate, that means they show sexual dimorphism. Fertilization is external, that is outside the body. Okay, and they are oviparous organisms. Oviparous organisms means they are the egg-laying organisms. Okay, that means they lay eggs, right? Do you remember the first feature? They need water for breeding, right? So they lay their eggs in the water, right? So they are oviparous organisms because they lay eggs. And development is indirect, where the larva is produced. Okay, I hope these features are clear to everyone. Certain examples of the class Amphibia are bufo, that is toad, okay, rana, that is frog, hyla, that is tree frog, salamander, salamandra, and the limbless amphibia. Okay, moving to the next class. The second class is the class Reptilia. The general features are, first feature is they have dry and cornified skin, epidermal scales or scutes. Okay, now their skin is very dry. They are cornified, means they have the spiny skin. Okay, and they have the scales on their body, or that are called the scutes, right? And snake and lizards, they shed their scales as the skin cast. ठीक है, ये तुम लोग ने जनरली सुना होगा कि स्नेक्स है, लिजार्ड्स है, अपनी स्किन को निकालते हैं. दैट इज कॉल्ड द शेडिंग ऑफ द स्किन, और इट इज द स्किन कास्ट विच इज बीइंग ऑब्जर्व्ड इन द members belonging to this class, that is Reptilia. Reptilia have the two pairs of limbs. If they have limbs, they have two pairs of limbs, and they can move from one place to another place by the process called crawling. ठीक है ना, क्रॉल करते हैं वो ज़मीन पे, जैसे छोटे बच्चे कैसे क्रॉल करते हैं, राइट? वैसे with the help of crawling process they can move from one place to another place. And again, tympanum, it represents the ear in this organisms also. Okay, then they have the three-chambered heart. They have three-chambered heart, but a septum which partially separates the ventricle is present. Okay, एक सेप्टम छोटा पार्टीशन जैसा होता है, okay, which separates the ventricle, right? So in some of the organisms like crocodiles, they have four-chambered heart. In rest other reptilia, there are three-chambered heart. Okay, then they are poikilotherms. Again, I have already told you, poikilotherms means they are cold-blooded animals. That means they can change their body temperature according to the change in the surrounding temperature. Okay, then the alimentary canal is very well developed in these organisms, and respiration takes place through lungs, and fertilization takes place internally. That means inside the body the fusion of male and female gamete takes place. So fertilization is internal, and they are oviparous. Again, oviparous means they lay eggs, right? Fertilized eggs are being laid, and then the eggs undergoes development outside the female body. Okay, so development is direct here. Direct means there is no larval stage produced here. ठीक है, यहाँ पर कोई लार्वा प्रोड्यूस नहीं होता है. एग्स डेवलप करेगा, एग के अंदर डेवलपमेंट होगा, और फिर वो एक ऑर्गेनिज्म कंप्लीटली डेवलप्ड ऑर्गेनिज्म बनाएगा. जब एग्स हैच होंगे तो उसमें से एक न्यू ऑर्गेनिज्म बनेगा. ओके, सो they are oviparous organisms and the development is direct. And these are some of the examples of the reptiles, that is turtle, tortoise, tree lizard, chameleon, okay, wall lizard, then garden lizard, crocodile, alligator. These are different examples of the reptiles, right? Few more examples are snakes, which are further divided into two categories, that is the poisonous snakes and the non-poisonous snakes, right? Like cobra, then krait, then viper, Okay, these are the poisonous snakes, whereas python is the non-poisonous snake. Fine. So let us start with the new class, that is class AVES, right? Class AVES. These organisms have feathers and beak. Okay, organisms belonging to class AVES have feathers and beak. ठीक है? Their forelimbs are modified into wings. ठीक है बच्चों, forelimbs माने हाथ and hind limbs माने पैर. ठीक है, तो एव्स के जो फोर लिम्स है वो मॉडिफाइड है विंग्स में, मॉडिफाइड हुए हैं विंग्स में, राइट? सो द फोर लिम्स आर मॉडिफाइड इनटू द विंग्स and they have feathers on their body and they have beak. Okay, they have dry skin without glands except the oil glands at the base of the tail. ठीक है, उनकी स्किन बहुत ड्राई होती है and they do not have the glands except the tail have the oil gland, right? And the hind limbs have the scales, and the hind limbs are modified for walking or for swimming or for clasping tree branches. Okay, and they have long and hollow pneumatic bones, right? The bones are long, hollow, right? And again tympanum, it represents the ear in such organisms, right? Then they have four chambered heart. In these organisms there are four chambers like human beings, two upper chambers called auricle, two lower chambers called ventricle. So they have four chambered heart. They are homeotherms, that means they are warm blooded animals. Warm blooded animals, that means they keep their body temperature constant. Okay, their body temperature remains constant. That means they cannot change their body temperature according to the change in the surrounding. Okay, such organisms are called homeotherms, or they are called warm blooded animals. Once again, homeotherms are the organisms which cannot change their body temperature according to the change in the surrounding environment. Okay, they keep their body temperature constant. Such organisms are called warm blooded animals, or they are called homeotherms, right? And digestive tract has the additional chambers, that is the crop and gizzard, that helps, crop and gizzard helps for grinding the food. Okay, you know birds, they eat grains, and grains have the hard covering. ठीक है, जो उसका शेल होता है या फिर कवर होता है, ठीक है, वो बहुत हार्ड होता है, तो उसको ब्रेक करने के लिए दिस ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैव द एडिशनल चेम्बर्स कॉल्ड द क्रॉप एंड गिजार्ड. ठीक है, सो विद दैट दे कैन ग्राइंड द फूड दैट दे ईट, एंड दे अंडरगो डबल रेस्पिरेशन. Air sacs are connected to the lungs, right? And fertilization is internal. Inside the body of the organism only fertilization takes place. They are oviparous, so they also lay the eggs, and the development is direct. There is no larval stage produced in these organisms. And different examples of these organisms or aves are सारे birds except for the few are included in this. ठीक है, like crow, pigeon, parrot, ostrich, peacock, penguin, vulture, all these organisms are included in this class, that is class aves. Fine. Now this is the last class of the super class tetrapoda. ठीक है, और ये हमारे चैप्टर का लास्ट टॉपिक है. विद दिस वी विल बी कंप्लीटिंग दिस चैप्टर. ओके, सो क्लास मैमेलिया, members of this class are classified or they are identified by the presence of mammary glands. ठीक है, mammary glands present होते हैं. Mammary glands are the milk secreting glands. ठीक है, तो जो ऑर्गेनिज्म में mammary glands होते हैं उस ऑर्गेनिजम्स को हम क्या कहेंगे, mammals कहेंगे, राइट. एंड दे हैव hair on their skin. स्किन पर हेयर होते हैं. सी चिल्ड्रन, मैमल्स जो क्लास है उसमें हम बिलोंग करते हैं. हम मीन्स ह्यूमन बींग्स बिलोंग्स टू क्लास मैमल. तो जो हमारे फीचर्स है ना वो सारे इसमें आएंगे. लाइक द फीमेल ह्यूमन्स, दे हैव द मेमोरी ग्लैंड्स दैट secretes the milk. Then if we talk of general human beings, they have skin with the hair, or they have hair on their skin. Okay, they have 2 pairs of limbs, right, for walking, for running, for climbing, for burrowing, for swimming, or for flying. For all these things they have 2 pairs of limbs, right, 2 hands and 2 legs. And they have the external ear which is called the pinnae. ये दिख रहा है, ये इसको क्या कहेंगे हम, external ear, उसे पिन्ने कहते हैं. सो मैमल्स हैव द एक्सटर्नल ईयर्स विच इज कॉल्ड द पिन्ने. एंड दे हैव 4 चेम्बर्ड हार्ट. 4 चेम्बर वाला हार्ट होता है मैमल्स में. ऊपर के जो 2 चेम्बर्स हैं वो क्या कहेंगे हम, ऑरिकल्स, या उसे हम कहेंगे एट्रिया. एंड द 2 लोअर चेम्बर्स आर कॉल्ड द वेंट्राइकल्स. ओके, एंड दे आर होम्योथर्म्स. That is, they are warm-blooded animals. Warm-blooded मैंने अभी तुम लोग को समझाया. Warm-blooded means they keep their body temperature constant. They cannot change their body temperature according to the change in the surroundings. Okay, so they are homeotherms, or they are warm-blooded animals. They have very well developed alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is very well developed. They have 2 openings, mouth and anus. Through mouth they ingest the food, and through anus they ingest the waste material outside the body. Okay, dentition is heterodont. Heterodont means डिफरेंट मॉर्फोलॉजी वाले टीथ होते हैं. हमारी बॉडी में भी, हमारे में भी 4 डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ टीथ हैं, है ना. इंसिसर्स, कैनाइन्स, मोलर्स एंड प्रीमोलर्स. सबका मॉर्फोलॉजी, सबका स्ट्रक्चर, सबका शेप डिफरेंट होता है ना. ठीक है, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड हेट्रोडेंट. हेट्रो मीन्स डिफरेंट. ठीक है, सो डेंटेशन मीन्स दे हैव टीथ ऑफ डिफरेंट मॉर्फोलॉजी. थैकोडेंट मीन्स द टीथ आर एम्बेडेड इन द सॉकेट. ठीक है, हमारे टीथ कहाँ पर है, सॉकेट में होते हैं ना, ऐसे ही फ्रीली तो नहीं है, राइट. द टीथ आर एम्बेडेड इन द सॉकेट, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड थैकोडेंट. एंड डाइफायोडेंट मीन्स दे हैव 2 सेट्स ऑफ टीथ. हमारे पास भी 2 सेट है ना, एक ऊपर अपर जॉ में और दूसरा लोअर जॉ में. ठीक है, सो डाइफायोडेंट मीन्स दे हैव 2 सेट्स ऑफ टीथ. वंस अगेन, हेट्रोडेंट मीन्स दे हैव टीथ with different morphology. Thecodent का मतलब है the teeth are embedded in the socket. ठीक है ना. and diphyodont का मतलब है जो 2 सेट ऑफ टीथ प्रेजेंट होते हैं. ओके, एंड रेस्पिरेशन टेक्स प्लेस विद द हेल्प ऑफ लंग्स. As the organisms are terrestrial, the respiration occurs with the lungs. And the sexes are separate. Okay, that means male and female individuals are present, or they show sexual dimorphism, and internal fertilization is observed. Okay, that means fusion of male and female gamete takes place inside the female body. So fertilization is internal, and the organisms are viviparous, except for the few like echidna and platypus, right. Now, viviparous means they give birth to young ones. Right? Viviparous का मतलब मैंने क्या समझाया था? They lay eggs, right? Whereas viviparous means they give birth to young ones, right? So that is called viviparous animals. And the development is direct, means there is no larval stage. Okay, different examples are platypus, kangaroo, flying fox, monkey, cow, lion. These are all examples of the members belonging to class Mammalia. Fine. Camel, rat, dog, cat, elephant, all these organisms belong to class Mammalia. Even the dolphin, blue whale. So these are the exceptions. These are considered, these are fishes, but they are not included in the class Pisces. They are included in the class Mammalia, right? So common dolphin, blue whale, then horse, tiger, lion. These are all examples of the members belonging to the class Mammalia. So children, with this we have completed the chapter. I hope the chapter is very clear to everyone. There were many new terms in it, but I have made all the terms very clear to you. Thank you.